Little baby bunting, yeah. Little baby bunting, daddy's gone hunting, gonna fetch a... Agnes, it's me, Billy.
Hey guys, Retro Horror back for the 31 Days of Christmas Horror. I'm working my way back through the Silent Night, Deadly Night trilogy, it's a franchise of 5 films. I've looked at the first film, 1984's classic Silent Night, Deadly Night. Then I looked at the sequel, the 1987 film with the famous Garbage Day, Eric Freeman. And today is the third film is Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. You better watch out. It probably should be labeled Silent Night, Deadly Night. You better not watch this because it's just total horseshit crap. Really, the franchise takes a real plummet in this third film, unfortunately. This was made in 1989, and it was a direct-to-video film. It has Bill Moseley in it, but Bill Moseley, this is not going to go down as one of his better efforts. I mean, I love him in Texas Chainsaw 2, and he's done a number of films that I've enjoyed, but he sleepwalks. He literally and figuratively sleepwalks through this film. With a fishbowl on his head. So the story opens up as a sequel to the second movie where Ricky, of course played by Eric Freeman, was gunshotted down at the end of the second film. His brain has been protected and revived by doctors, and he is so he's seen in the opening of the third film with what really looks like, I can't describe it anything other than a really cheap fishbowl on his head. It looks something like out of Plan 9 from Outer Space, really cheap looking. But at any rate, he is still alive somehow. There's a lot of continuity errors from the second film as explained in the third film as to how he can be alive, but we're not going to get into that. He has a telepathic bond with Laura, who's played by Samantha Scully, and she's really not a very good actress. She doesn't know how. I mean, there's an art to screaming. She doesn't know how to. She hasn't perfected that art. Her screaming is terrible. Her acting is terrible. But quite frankly, everyone's acting is terrible in this, including Bill Moseley. He really was not good, and no one else was very good in this as well. It was a very sleepwalking film. I mean, and the storyline is when Ricky comes back to life, he's kind of in a coma, almost zombie-like, walking around, trying to get to Laura, who he's got this telepathic connection to. And he's zombieing his way through and just half asleep, and so is the rest of the cast. I mean, it's a boring, very boring, dull film, and there's just nothing very interesting about it. There's no iconic kills. There's no interesting kills. And for a large part of the film, Bill Moseley, once he becomes alive again, he's kind of off screen, and the focus is on Laura and her psychosis, telekinetic issues, and her brother, who looks like Michael Bolton, a really bad-looking Michael Bolton with a horrible perm. He's got a girlfriend, and he and his girlfriend are trying to help his sister Laura with her issues. And then you've got Bill Moseley trying to chase her down and kill her. Um, I don't know much more to say about it other than it was a very difficult, troublesome, tiring watch. And that's not the first time I've watched it. I've watched it before, and I'm simply rewatching it to cover the movies, but I didn't remember just what an ordeal it was to sit through. So I can only give it like a 3 out of 10 stars. I don't recommend it. This film series, this is the remaining 3 films are in this set, and they're all full screen. Lionsgate, this is a Lionsgate release, but they're all full screen and not, I mean, they look like a VHS copy that's just been burned to DVD, to be honest with you. So that didn't help. If there is an interesting thing to comment about Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, is the director was at a recent horror film. Let's see, what's the Monte Hellman? Yeah, Monte Hellman was at a screening in 2008, and he said this was one of his best films, which is not saying a whole lot. Apparently, he thinks that because he was able to get a script together and direct the film in less than 2 weeks, he considers that the material for which to judge whether a movie is good or not. It's just a piece of crap, and I would just avoid it at all costs. So the third film, now that that's over, kind of ends the mini trilogy. And the fourth and fifth film just diverts completely from the original premise, the original story. And I will be watching those. Actually, I'm probably just going to go ahead and knock those out today and post some reviews on those so I can move on to other films. But so there's a high probability that I will post a little overview of 4 and 5 Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise films tonight or in the morning. So, at any rate, not a whole lot to say about number 3. You better watch out. I would just say you better just skip it. Don't watch it. So that ends my review, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks.